Hello, everybody, and welcome to Finding Your Innergator podcast, where we talk about discipline, relationships, and the habits that release the greatness that is already inside of you. I'm your host, Wright, and I am so glad that you're here. In each episode, we'll explore powerful lessons, real-life stories, and practical strategies to help you live intentionally, build meaningful relationships, and unlock your full potential. But greatness isn't something you stumble into. It's something that is built every single day. So let's get started and begin the journey to finding your Innergator. Hello, everybody. Yeah, this is Wright, and I just want to welcome you again to Finding Your Innergator. I am so glad that you're here. And before we get started today, let me just tell you, I've had a lot of folks sharing different episodes, and I've got a lot of feedback. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that. And again, if you know somebody that could get something, it would make a difference in maybe the way they're looking at the world, or we're looking at something. Do not hesitate to share this podcast with them and invite them to go back to the beginning and listen to that first episode of how Innergator came to be. And for you, the RSS, go ahead and subscribe. Whatever platform you're listening to, go ahead and subscribe to it. That way you're immediately notified when these drop. And they do drop every Monday. But I just thank you so much. All right, I want to ask you something right out of the gate. If I looked at your calendar, not what you say that matters, right? Not what you think that matters, but what's actually on your calendar, what would it say about your priorities? The truth is, your calendar, it doesn't lie. Your calendar tells the truth about your life. You know, the last few weeks, we've been walking through the 5 pillars of the Innergator system. We've talked about the mind, which sets direction, right? We talked about health, which provides energy. We talked about relationships last week, which multiply opportunities. And today we're talking about the 4th pillar. That's your calendar. My goal is for you to Gatorize your day. Because with your calendar, this pillar, this is where everything becomes real. You've got the right mindset. You want to be healthy. You can understand and optimize relationships. But if it's not on your calendar, let me tell you something. It is not happening. People say to me all the time, I just don't have time. That's not the truth. You're lying to yourself. You've got the time. The truth is, you haven't taken control of your time. Time is your most valuable resource. You can find a way to make more money, right? You can build more relationships. You can improve your health. But no matter how hard you try, you cannot create more time than is allotted. The problem, as I see it, is that most people, they treat their calendar like a suggestion instead of a system. They let everything else fill it up. Meetings, emails, calls, problems. And then they try to squeeze in what really matters. And what happens, guys? What really matters? It takes a back seat, right? It gets pushed aside. Let me be very, very clear on this. If it matters, it must be scheduled. Your workouts, your planning, your relationships, your growth, your thinking time. It all has to be on your calendar, because if it's not, life will crowd it out. I want you to think about something. If I asked you what are the most important things in your life, you would probably tell me, well, my family, my health, church, career, growth. Now let me ask you something. Look at your calendar and tell me, do these things show up on your calendar, or is it just an idea? Because there is a difference between saying something matters and scheduling something that matters. Here's what high performers do differently. They do not react to their calendar. They design it. They do not I got to say that again. They do not react to their calendar. They design it. They decide ahead of time what matters, when it happens, and how it gets protected. Protect your calendar. You've heard me talk about this before. I wake up early and I get clear in a lot of mornings when I'm not traveling. As the sun is coming up, I'm standing on the bow of my small boat. And I'm watching that sun come up. I'm having a cup of coffee. I've got a rod and reel in my hand, of course. But I'm not there for the fish. I'm there to get my head right. That is not random. It is scheduled and it is intentional. Because I know if I don't control my morning and I don't set the tone for the day, guess what? My day is going to control me. Your calendar should reflect your priorities, not your distractions. That may be the most profound thing you hear today. Your calendar should reflect your priorities, not your distractions. And unfortunately, I would tell you that our calendars, if you really, really look at them, your priorities are not really on there. If you're constantly saying, I don't have time, what you're really saying is, I haven't made it a priority. That might sting a little bit, but it's the truth. Now, let's talk about how to fix it. I've got a couple of applications for you today. The first one, I want to give you something simple you can do right now, okay? Step one, I want you to block your priorities, your true priorities first. Before anything else gets scheduled, I want you to put the important things on your calendar. Step two, create structure in your day. Don't leave it open-ended. I want you to have time blocks, focus time, execution time, thinking time. Step three, protect your calendar. Stop letting everything interrupt what matters. Not everything deserves access to your time. It's a precious commodity. Not everything or everybody deserves access to it. Step four, review your calendar weekly. Look at it and ask yourself, did this week reflect my priorities or did I drift? Your calendar is either working for you or it's working against you. Now, you may need to rewind that and write that down to make sure you got that exercise. And I'm going to take it a step further. I wasn't going to share this with you today, but I am. Because I think this goes into how to absolutely Gatorize your day. Absolutely Gatorize your day. So your second application, what I want you to do, most of you, if you're listening to this, it's a Monday. Some of you may have recently discovered our podcast, and maybe it's a Thursday, it doesn't matter. But what I want you to do, tomorrow morning when you get up, you want to do an exercise that will change your life every 90 days? I do this because I understand, and it took me a long time, guys, to understand the value of time, that I'm given just as much time as you are. You're given just as much time as I am. But I assure you, I get my 7 or 8 hours of sleep at night, and I use the other 16 hours to make certain that I'm taking care of my priorities and my responsibilities, and I get them done in an effective manner. But let me tell you, one of the keys to that that's helped me is this application, this piece. On a Monday morning when I get up, once every 90 days, I've got a legal pad sitting there, and I write down 4:30 a.m. Remember what I told you? If you measure something, you can manage it. And if you manage it, you can improve it. This is key. Everything that I did From the time I got up to the time I went to bed on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, I logged and I wrote down. No matter how small it is, I jumped on Facebook. I jumped on Amazon. I called Johnny about this deal we're working on. I tracked it every minute of the day for 3 days. 3 days. Then on Thursday, I set aside a little time and I take a highlighter. I have a yellow highlighter, I have a green highlighter, and I have a pink highlighter. The pink highlighter is as close as I could get to red. My green highlighter was designed for activities during my workday that are money-making activities. My yellow were activities that were important, but somebody else could have done. I could have delegated that. And the pink or the red were time wasters, right? Things that I could do, but why am I doing them during the time that I'm working? At the end of that, I would see that I spent 20 minutes a day for 3 days on Facebook at 11 o'clock in the morning. Well, that's an hour. You take that times 5 days during the week, using that same time block, that's 100 minutes. That's 400 minutes a month. That's 4,800 minutes a year during the day. You think about, you do the math on that. How many hours did I actually spend on Facebook during the day? Well, think about it. If I spend an hour and 40 minutes a week in a month, I've spent about 5 hours. In a year, I've spent about 60 hours. 60 hours in what I think is innocent, 20 minutes during my work. And then I complained that I lost over a week of work looking at 20 minutes a day on Facebook. So I started eliminating the time blockers, the time wasters, right? I started eliminating those. Focus those on my downtime, but not during my work day. Not during the day. If it was not a money-making activity, why was I doing it? Why are you doing it? We have a tendency to waste a little bit of time here and there and don't realize the cumulative effect of that. I challenge you to do that and challenge you to be very, very honest. If you're serious about Gatorizing your day, you need to do that. Listen, I tell you on every episode that in the side of you, every person listening to this, there is greatness. You already know that's how I feel about it. But greatness doesn't grow by accident. It's intentional, right? It grows through discipline, through intentional action, and through structure. Your calendar is where that structure lives. Take control of your calendar. Don't let it control you. I challenge you to do both those applications. I know I'm asking a lot, but do both of those applications this week. And let me know the impact it has on you. I hope that this helps. Next week, we're going to move to that final pillar, the fun one, finance. Because when you align your mind, your health, your relationships, and your time, guess what? Your finance begin to follow. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening to the Finding Your Innergator podcast. You know, if today's episode helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, greatness is achieved through discipline, intentional action, and optimizing the relationships around you. I look forward to getting with you next week. Now, go Gatorize your day.